Buddy, good morning. All right, so this is the finish up our track mat practice here. Going to take a look at what we've have accomplished already, and then we're going to take a little further and see what we can do with a track mat versus blend modes and shape masks. Okay, so I got my After Effects open here. All right, and what I have done here is two layers. All right, so I have the video up here, so it's available in the classroom with the beach ball. It's grabbed off of YouTube. If you remember our video grabbing process, if you don't, it's in the video before this under this class name. All right. Okay. So once you have that, what we want to do is we want to draw a shape. In this case, it's going to be a circle, so we can cut off this beach ball. Right, and then once we have that shape in place up here, right, then we'll begin animating it on top of the beach ball. And the way I did that is pretty much rotoscoping uh, every other frame, almost every other frame at a time. I hear my keys down here for position. All right, and what I did is I went for the main motions first. Turn both of these on real quick, turn this off. All right, and there's my shape. It's going to act as my mask for track mat process here. So first I added the keys in, high point, low point, high point, low point, high point, and low point. And for this exercise, let's go ahead and just capture the first two bounces here. That'll be fine. So that's about 6 seconds of footage here. Once you get those points, you want to go in between, right? Lay down a keyframe by pressing the triangle here. Lays down a keyframe as is. And then we can shape in the timing. Let's slide the keyframe back and forth to make sure it overlaps on that beach ball there. Oh, and then one thing to mention, make sure our motion path is in line with the path of the ball before we begin tweaking in individual keyframes here. All right, and again, this should have been done a while ago. All right, so the next step here, after we have our masking here, add in the track mat and shape here, video here. We're going to go to the video. We want to make sure our track mat column is open. What we get there is we right click on layer name here, columns, and then open up our modes here. Closed it, open it back up, and then track mat should open up right next to your blend modes right here. All right, from there, I can turn this into a track mat by going to the layer beneath the mask layer that I want to use. All right, I'm going to turn on alpha mat. And you can see it cuts out everything except for the beach ball right here. All right, and so my ball is following the beach ball roughly for the first two bounces here. All right, so that's some manual tracking. So I cut out the beach ball. Now, what can we do with this? We can't do with blend modes or shape masks. So again, shape masks are for cutting out fixed spots on footage or image, right? And no matter what we do with the shape mask, it sticks with that footage in that one spot. So we can't animate it separately, right? We wouldn't be able to rotoscope the beach ball out of this footage with a shape mask. And then with blend modes, the same thing. It takes not just shapes, but also other footage, other images on top, and then it calculates certain pixels on top, but pixels underneath, and then blends them together. Unless you go down here to the stencil silhouette blend modes, which then begins cutting out pieces entirely. Okay, but the unique feature of track mat, we animate it separately, and then we can start adding some pretty unique features. All right, for this one, I figured out you can with the second composition I made. we can overlap them as well. So let me break this down a little bit. So I have a pre-comp here. I have a pre-comp on my first one. These two, this is on composition up here, is called the TrackMac Demo. I made a new composition called TrackMac Exercise, and then I imported the composition TrackMac Demo, the demo composition, into the exercise composition. And these are called pre-comps. So each one of these are referencing the demo composition. And so when I do that, I'll hide these for now. When I do that, it just brings it into the new compositions, kind of like a group. And then we can do some fun stuff with it as a reference to group in here. I added a couple more in here. And then I went ahead and moved them over sequentially 2 frames at a time. And as you can imagine, we have a stacking order in place. Turn this off. And if we delay it by 2 frames, you get a pretty cool effect here. And now I added a couple of different effects here, so I'll just go ahead and turn this off so I can show you the basics. A couple more things here to turn off. Okay, and so now I can stack this together 2 frames down the line here. All right, and then I can give it a tail. Something you can't quite do with a shape mask or blend modes here. Yep. It's going to After Effects a second to catch up with this here. All right, it's just overlapping and then bringing it back some, so this starts a little differently. So it's a nice little effect, kind of like I think it's called College Troops back in the day with Super Nintendo. Alright, it's pretty neat. And since we got these on separate layers here, then we can begin adding different effects. So, for instance, I can come back through here, on blend modes on each of these. So what I had before was something like a linear dodge, maybe even color dodge. Classic. There you go. That was what it was. And I went ahead and re-imported the video, so I can still have that background there. So just from our project reference folder right here, pull it down right here. Make sure this one lines up with the first one here. Go ahead and turn this first one back to normal so you can see the regular cutout beach ball. Alright, I can turn the background back on. And give it a pretty cool tail. Alright. The next thing I'll go over real quick so we can finish up this neat little exercise. Excuse me. It's freeze frame. So I don't need the rest of the video here, but I don't want it to disappear as soon as I reach the end. Alright, so just to get it to sit still here for a second as the tail catches up with it, I went to that precise frame. Right about here, I can hit Control, right and left arrows. See the keystrokes off to the right there. To find that exact frame with the beach ball, it's that final bounce. And right there, I can stop the initial cutout beach ball on top, which is this very top layer. And while my slider's on that particular frame, I can right click on it, go here to time, and then what I wanted to do is freeze on last frame here. So as I imagine, your compositions aren't quite there yet. So in order to cut it right there, you're gonna hit Control Shift D, cut it right at that frame. All right, we can delete this extra. And now it has a last frame right here. I can right click, time, freeze on last frame. And I'll just use that last frame to fill up the remaining space of our current composition here. Just like so. And I'm going to do the same for this one too. So that same frame. And Control Shift D. And delete the extra. Right click, time, freeze on the last frame. Alright, looks like that looks off a little bit. So back. Use my control left to move it over just a little bit. There we go. Let's try this again. Delete. Oh, no, went the wrong way. Try this one more time. Okay. Split. Delete. There we go. Okay. So now I got both of my markers lined up so that the background stays put with the beach ball on top here. Cool. I'll just back it up to my previous version here. Okay, awesome. And then we can even do fun little stuff like change the opacity so it gives it more of a tail look. We can also change the size of the mask a little bit. I'll leave that up to you. Alright. But one last thing we're going to add in as a required feature. So again, we're going to cut out the beach ball, first two bounces, so at least 6 seconds there. Alright, we're going to put them in a new composition. Please keep in mind that all compositions should be 24 frames per second. Alright, stutter them down the stack here, about 2 frames apart. So we can get this cool tail going on. Add in a blend mode of some sort to differentiate the tail from the ball here. Alright, let's get the freeze frame in place at the end. And then let's go ahead and do a camera shift. So it's not perfectly frozen for this remaining time here. What we're going to do is, again, we're going to make another composition. I've already made this here. And then import exercise into that. I call this last one camera shift. So I have demo, which is being duplicated in place of the exercise. And then using exercise to import that into camera shift. And from here, we can add adjustments to everything in its entirety so the film just doesn't look still at the end. It looks like it's still part of the video. And so our final product should look something like this here. Look at the tail, we've got 2 bounces, it freezes, but the camera still has motion there. Okay, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Alright, go ahead. I'm going to post the assignment on tomorrow. Let's meet tomorrow to go over any questions, and then we can wrap this up and we can begin on our final projects for the semester here. Alright, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you have any questions, let me know. I apologize earlier, I was locked out of my school account for quite some time. But I'm back in, email's working, but the best way to reach me is through Google Classroom. If you need anything. Okay. All right. Well, you guys take care and see you tomorrow.